Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Former President Donald Trump, he will not be sentenced before the election in his New York hush money case. After hearing the decision, Trump said the whole case is a sham. He called it third world banana republic stuff, and the former president was scheduled to be sentenced on September 18th for his felony conviction connected to payments made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Now, Judge Juan Merchan ruled that the new sentencing date is November 26th. Trump's attorneys successfully argued that to postpone the sentencing so they can create an appeal related to the Supreme Court ruling about presidential immunity. In his ruling, Merchan noted that he wanted to avoid the appearance that the sentencing might influence the November election. Now, this comes at the same time, separate case, that Trump was in New York for his court case against E. Jean Carroll, the sexual assault case. Now, Trump says the allegations against him also in that case are a scam. Let's hear those comments from Trump on his sexual assault case.
And all I can say is that I never met the woman other than this picture, which could have been AI generated. I don't know. We go down to court today to talk about this case is a scam. Never met her, never touched her, never had anything to do with her.
So he doesn't have a guilty verdict for the sexual assault per se, but he is held partially liable for defaming her in the amount of $5 million for comments that he made regarding allegations he assaulted the columnist in the 1990s. Now, Trump has denied the assault claims, and his attorneys argued the verdict was unjust because of flawed rulings from the judge. Now, the former president wants to erase that verdict and the other one that amounts to over $88 million. So that's where Trump was last week, where we were trying to figure out why he not on the campaign trail. He was in court. Also over the weekend, the former president, he rallied in the key battleground state of Wisconsin. He called for changes in the 25th Amendment during that stop in central Wisconsin. And he also accused Vice President Kamala Harris about lying about President Biden's mental state. Now, if you don't know about the 25th Amendment, that basically clarifies that the vice president, if the vice president becomes president, because that president dies, resigns, or is removed from office by impeachment, it also establishes a procedure, standard procedure for filing or filling that vacancy in the office of the vice president. So, yeah, Trump, he been busy. He been busy in court and behind the scenes pulling on strings. Do we have time for one more?
No, we got to do it when we come back.
All right, well, we'll talk more on the other side then. We've got a lot.
That's right. And we'll give you the football scores next hour as well.
You don't want to give out the football scores because it's Giants lost, but just know Kendrick Lamar ain't going to be the only person performing in the Super Bowl this February because my Dallas Cowboys.
Y'all got one, okay?
Hey.
Calm down.
One on the way to the Super Bowl, Morgan.
Delulu.
Okay?
Delulu.
All right, this all year.
Delulu.
This is the Dallas Cowboys year. I would ask you to drop one of Clue's bombs to it, but the bomb probably won't happen. Oh, there you go. All right, okay. That's right. Drop one of Clue's bombs for my Dallas Cowboys.
That's how you can tell y'all ain't going nowhere because that's the only thing that worked this morning.
Damn. Damn.
And everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. You see, I'm very quiet, Morgan, because my team got smashed. I just got to shut the F up. But everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. They want to give up one of the best running backs and give it to the Eagles, which is right down the road, and let them score 3 touchdowns. But it's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
He wouldn't do that on the Giants.
800-58. I'm just going to shut up.
It's a new week. Week two underway.
Nah, week 2 look bad for us, too. All right, but get it off your chest. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren is filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, Vice President.
Hold on, Morgan. Let me do these football scores. I know your team didn't win. My team didn't win. But the people still want to hear their scores.
I mean, week 2.
All right. Here we go. The Saints beat the Panthers last night. Vikings beat the Giants. Steelers beat the Falcons. Patriots beat the Bengals. Texans beat the Colts. The Bills beat the Cardinals. Dolphins beat the Jaguars. Bears beat the Titans. The Seahawks beat the Broncos. The Chargers beat the Raiders. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders. And the Lions beat the Rams. All right?
And the Dallas Cowboys beat the Cleveland Browns 33-17. The disrespect for my Dallas Cowboys will cease this year.
was-
Because the reality of the situation is, in February, 2 people will be performing in the Super Bowl that America loves. Kendrick Lamar and the Dallas Cowboys.
And in Monday Night Football, the 49ers take on the Jets at 8:15. Now, let's get to some real news, not the Cowboy news, Morgan.
Yeah, because those are the Browns. Calm down. So Vice President Kamala Harris, she received quite the endorsement over the weekend from former Vice President Dick Cheney and his daughter, Liz Cheney, who's a former Congresswoman. VP Harris, she says she's honored to receive the endorsement. And while speaking to reporters, she reacted to the news on Saturday during a visit to a local business in Pittsburgh. Let's hear more from Vice President Harris on those endorsement comments.
I think that what they both, as leaders who are well respected, are making an important statement that it's okay, and if not important, to put country above party. I think it's an important statement right now. A lot of what I think is happening, and I was just talking with some folks here in Pittsburgh about it, is that people are exhausted about the division and the attempts to kind of divide us as Americans.
Yeah. So on Friday, the former VP under the George W. Bush administration announced he plans to cross party lines to vote for Harris in November. In a statement, Cheney said former President Trump can never be trusted with power again. Former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney announced her support for Harris earlier in the week. She made those comments in an interview with ABC's This Week. She also expressed concern for the current state of the Republican Party. Let's hear more from the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
I'm certainly not a Trump Republican. I am a conservative. I think that what's happened to the Republican Party today, is indefensible. And as someone who's been a lifelong Republican, it's heartbreaking to me to see what has happened to so many of the elected officials in my party, and I know we can do better. I think, number one, it is up to us, the voters, to hold him accountable in November, not to reelect someone who did what he did.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. They're choosing country over party. That's how it should be, regardless of what your party is. Listen to both candidates, and if one of the candidates is more in line with your interests, vote for that person. I don't understand any of the blind loyalty people have to Democrats or Republicans. If your candidate is trash, then your candidate is trash. And I'm not looking for any elected official to be perfect, but I just cannot understand for the life of me why anyone would support Donald Trump. And I still don't understand why Republicans are just giving away their party to MAGA. So it's good to see some Republicans with some sense. But let's never forget, Morgan, Liz Cheney refused to support voting rights. Okay, she didn't vote for the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act. So it's interesting to hear her now speak about protecting democracy, but you didn't vote to protect the cornerstone of democracy, which is voting.
And you talked about country over party, but she also did say that the Republican Party must be rebuilt after this election cycle, adding that Trump threatens the peaceful transfer of power. Now, we've got some updates on the shooting that happened out of Georgia. Now, the mother of the teenager accused of killing 4 people at the Georgia high school, she says she tried to call the school and warn the school what she believed was going to be, quote, an extreme emergency. The Washington Post says records show that Marcy Gray called the Appalachian High School about an hour and a half before the shooting and was on the phone for about 10 minutes. Now, Gray says she was the one who notified a counselor at the school that they needed to do something immediately and check on her son. And when they went to go check on him, he was not in class. Now, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock, he's weighing in. He's pushing back against Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance's comments last week that school shootings are a fact of life. Let's hear more from Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock.
It's not a fact of life. It's a fact of American life. And we Americans have to ask ourselves, why does this keep happening here? Well, the reality is this is happening in spas, it's happening in shopping malls, it's happening in houses of worship, it's happening in medical clinics. What are we going to do? Turn the whole country into a fort? Let's put forward reasonable, common sense gun laws the same way we did with ensuring that people are safer in their cars. We can do the same thing with guns.
Senator Warnock, he went on to say that the corporate gun lobby remains the main obstacle blocking gun legislation favored by most Americans. Now, his comments come again after that teenage gunman killed 2 students and 2 teachers at Appalachia High School outside Winder, which is northeast of Atlanta, and that was in Georgia last Wednesday.
Do we know the reason why? Do we know the reason why his mom called? Like, did he have a conversation with his mom, and his mom still let him go to school?
No, because the feds had already spoke to the boy. The feds spoke to him a year before.
No, but they said his mom called that morning and said, check on my son. Like, what made her think that day that her son was going to do that? You see what I'm saying? And then if her son said something to her, why wouldn't she stop her son from going to school?
I did read why, but I forgot why.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Read why. Noticed that the guns were missing or anything of that nature.
Well, New York Times is saying that it was unclear what particularly led to the mother like calling the school.
It just seems weird that the mom would call and not stop her son from going to school. Like if he said something to you, you would stop him. If the guns were missing,
because the boy texted the mom and said
in the text message after the shooting that. Oh no!
The boy texted the mom before the shooting and said something like "I'm sorry, mom" or something like that, and that's what made the mom alert to school. I read that this weekend. Before the shooting or in that morning or whatever, he texted the mom like "I'm sorry, mom" or something. It was something along those lines.
Gotcha.
And that's what made the mom call the school.
It'll all be put on the stage tomorrow evening for the first presidential debate that we have between Vice President Harris and former President Trump. Now, Harris' campaign announced on Sunday where Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz, they'll be traveling following the debate. And Harris, who is doing her debate prep in Pittsburgh, she will be in North Carolina on Thursday, then back in Pennsylvania on Friday. Walz will head to Michigan and Wisconsin. And the events page on Trump's official website did not list any future campaign stops. But again, that presidential debate, it does go down tomorrow.
You know why? You know why? Because he's hoping after tomorrow they put him out of his misery. Donald Trump is hoping after tomorrow he's so terrible, which I believe he will be, that the Republicans say we got to do to him exactly what the Democrats did to Joe Biden.
He just want to be fired and collect.
He's like, please clear my schedule after tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm blowing it all up. Damn it. Right.
I did see reports that the Republican Party is concerned, and they are, quote, praying he doesn't blow it.
That's why he don't have nothing on his event calendar. He's blowing it all up tomorrow. The Carter is getting burnt down tomorrow.
It's a wrap.
Watch.
All right, so that's your front page news. Follow me on social at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, follow the Black Information Network at Black Information Network and visit BINnews.com.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.